How to automate workflows with Slack bots. The first step in getting started is opening the workflow builder from your Slack workspace. Note that this option is a premium Slack feature and requires a paid plan. To do that, select your workspace settings on the top left, then select Tools on drop-down and select Workflow Builder from the menu. Then choose a workflow template. Slack provides a number of ways to quickly get started. The default Slack workflow templates are on the following. However, you are not limited to these templates. You can also start a workflow from scratch. Let's dive into what each of these templates look like in practice. At a high level, there seems like so many use cases for each one. Send a welcome message for new teammates. Slack lets you send a welcome message when users join any Slack channel. After choosing the template, the setup to get started is simply choosing a Slack channel. Slack lets you customize the message sent to the person joining the channel or the channel the person joined. This workflow would work well for starting onboarding or simply for helping new people feel welcome. Triage requests in Slack channels. Have you ever been frustrated with questions or requests that have no context whatsoever? No. Just me. All right, didn't think so. The reason I'm a huge fan of triage requests or help desk actions is that they help flush out the context of people's questions. The text fields can be marked as required, so users can't skip out on important details. Setting up a help desk request action. While it may feel like a lot of steps to set up, you can easily just click next 3 times and be done with it. But in the interest of learning something new, here are all the steps you'll go through. The first step in creating a help desk request is choosing a name and channel. This action will appear in the Shortcuts section of Slack, or otherwise known as the lightning bolt. After you've selected a name, you'll need to add a few questions to ask the user. The responses are recorded as variables and can be used in the next workflow step. The useful thing with variables is that they can be funneled into another workflow step, such as contacting a person on call or sending a message to a channel. The variables are collected from the submitted form and can be included in your message. Daily stand-ups and check-ins. I remember when stand-up bots were all the craze. It seemed like everyone was making one. Now it's an integral part of Slack. Now we just need a bot that automates answers. A quick way to send info. Emoji reactions are no longer just for fun, they can now be used to start a workflow. I can't wait to see all the office pranks of people setting up workflows that are connected to common emojis. Status update for the team. If you've struggled to gather updates from your team, now you can simply automate the process. You can choose a date and time to send the message and have a form appear asking certain questions. You can have the responses sent only to you via a direct message if needed, or to a Slack channel. Whatever floats your boat. Add Slack workflow steps. Each workflow has a number of steps or building blocks. You connect pieces together to achieve an outcome. Slack provides 2 kinds of steps: send a form and send a message. Send a form. When you add a form as a workflow step, it lets you choose various options for asking a question. The options available for a Slack workflow form are short answer, select from a list, select a person, select a channel, and long answer. The more interesting of the group of options is the select from a list. Slack lets you create a number of list items for the users to select from. Forms are highly customizable and can replace a large amount of internal tools, processes that exist in Excel or Docs. Send a message. Sending a message is a good way to notify people of the variables you've collected via a form or a shortcut. The step has a text area where you can modify how the information is displayed. In the next section, I'll go over how to use variables, but for now all you need to know is that variables are the highlighted blue text. Recurring Slack reminders. If you ever needed a Slack reminder with a custom interval, such as 3 days a week, or only on the last day of the month, your quest is now over. Workflows that send messages can be scheduled to run with an almost limitless amount of schedules. Similar to how you schedule recurring events in Google Calendar. Part of the send a message workflow step provided by Slack is the ability to insert variables into a text area. To insert a variable, edit the send a message workflow step and select Insert a variable. Change variables names. Workflow variables are highlighted with a small down arrow drop down. Clicking on the variable lets you choose a different name. It's best to choose descriptive names so the next person who has to maintain the workflow can figure out what its intended purpose is. The Workflow Builder provides an overview of all the workflows you've created. It's easy to update steps and manage each of your workflows. Start automating your work. There are a number of ways that Slack workflows have already taken the tedious parts of the job away, and it's exciting to see what they'll continue to develop. And that's all of it from me. Hope this been helpful to you somehow, but that's it for me then. Thank you.